What's up, everybody? We're back again so soon because there's been a lot of updates to what we covered in the last episode.
Yeah, there have, well, not exactly updates pertaining, well, kind of linked, I guess, because we're back in the UFO government conspiracy thing again. Like, I don't recall if on the last episode I said what date we were recording, but it was either the day or 2 days after we recorded that episode. There was this release about the Kona Blue program, and I was so pissed that we didn't wait to record it because it would have fit in perfectly. So we decided that we're just going to do an update. So this is an update episode. So you get 2 episodes this week because we didn't put out an episode for like, I don't know, 1.5 to 2 years. So to make it up to you guys, 2 episodes this week and another episode next week, even though I'm gonna be MIA for a bit. But it's not gonna hamper the show schedule though, guys. You won't even miss me.
No, we were just gonna leave it at that, but we've worked out some time to where we'll have an episode for the week Mike is gone. So that's been taken care of.
Yeah, good stuff. Thanks, Aldo Poe. I'm glad you could cover us on that one.
Okay, so what's this Kona Blue? Is this it's a report, right?
Kona Blue is actually, it's the name of a proposed prospective special access program that was going to be within the Department of Homeland Security. And it was going to continue the work that the Defense Intelligence Agency was doing with the OSAP and the ATIP program, which were designed to investigate the UAPs, basically, and potential materials or evidence of them. The proposal for this program, Kona Blue, was originated from people within the OSAP and the ATIP program. And they were petitioning for this program after the OSAP and ATIP programs were terminated. And they were terminated for similar reasons that Blue Book was terminated. Basically, they weren't providing any evidence of the existence of UFOs/UAP. So there was no need to continue the program. So after they ended the program, these dudes got together and proposed Kona Blue. And it was actually briefly established as a special access program under the Department of Homeland Security in 2011. And the reason for it, they thought that there would be congressional interest and they wanted to get this rolling because of potential Homeland Security impacts. But after 6 months, the Deputy Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security no longer supported the project and terminated Kona Blue, saying that he couldn't justify this program due to the lack of information that they were getting. So it was just briefly implemented. It wasn't, and nothing was ever really done with it.
Now, when you hear that, do you think it's I mean, it could be that they didn't find anything. That's completely believable, but it just seems like Arrow's the one who released this report, and it was recently unclassified. That's why they released it, and we'll get into what the report says. But is there a part of you that says like maybe they did find something? Like White Arrow was around for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I think it was because it was kind of like a quiet program. And they really weren't able to, at least according to the people funding it, were not able to produce enough information for them to continue on with it. But I mean, we've heard like through all the talk we've done about government involvement and the government programs relating to this, starting with Grudge and going into Blue Book and all that. These programs never seem to really shut down. They seem to just change names and evolve what their purpose is. So it's, well, we're hearing about this thing being the OSAP and ATIP programs being shut down, and then the potential for this Kona Blue program. It's it just kind of shows how when one thing gets shut down, another thing starts up. So once this got shut down after the 6 months, did they have something else in mind, and had that been going on, and so on and so forth? Every time they shut it down, what's next? And do they shut it down completely? Does it just evolve, or does it go black and then we stop hearing about it? Like when it could be once they find something, once there's evidence shown or some breakthrough, that's when it goes black, because at that point the public shouldn't know about it. The powerful need to know about it. This is need to know only. And, a lot of cases, like Bill Clinton has said it, he was told that he doesn't need to know. So you're not going to know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's our government, man.
Yeah, you're the one who taught me that. They don't really close projects, dude. They just change their name.
But this one, the proposal for this seems like it's fucking all over the place. Like this is some wild shit.
I heard it had a budget of $10 billion a year.
$10 billion?
Yeah.
God damn.
That's one of the first things I heard people saying about it. I was like, that's a lot of fucking money for well, let's get into that. What is this Kona Blue supposed to Aloha Blue? What is it? God damn it.
Kona Blue.
Kona Blue. What?
Like Kona Crush from the 90s.
Hell yeah. What does this report say? Okay, there's a few things. I don't know. Let's ease into it. Let's cover what the UAP UFO aspect first.
Before we even get into that, I just want to really briefly talk about the name itself, Kona Blue, because there's a weird correlation here. We started the first really widely done government funded research on UFOs was Blue Book. In the conspiracy theories, there's the Operation Bluebeam, which is supposed to be like fake UFO attacks and like using holograms in the sky and creating the UFO threat. And now we've got Kona Blue. What's going on here?
Right. I was going to ask you what you thought about the name. There's always something blue.
Just last week, or last episode rather, there was the blue glows in the sky that we were talking about, the blue spiral in Norway, the blue dangly light beam things. Is it good? Is it really like that out in the open? Like it's all fucking blue, man. At the end of like every superhero movie, what's going on? Fucking blue beam directly up into the sky. Every goddamn one of them.
It's true.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's right there. They're just putting it all in front of your face. Look at the blue. Look at the blue. That's the real reason that gender reveal parties exist, is for the blue smoke. The pink smoke is like, all right, whatever. Yeah, it's fucking pink smoke. But the blue smoke, that's what they want. They want you to get that blue smoke. There's stuff in that blue smoke that'll make the frogs gay.
And they want it all over the world.
Yep, they want gay frogs everywhere. So,
I keep seeing more and more clips of that guy, and I never listened to Alex Jones. I know who he is. I've never had access to his show, but
I used to find him entertaining up until he started harassing families that had children who died. Then I was like, all right, buddy, you're not entertaining anymore. Now you just need to shut the fuck up.
I just see clips of him like screaming for 30 seconds.
Oh yeah, some of that shit was so good. He'd get like so pissed off. Like he would just start talking about these people in power doing like satanic things or whatever, and he would just get himself so like, because he would just start out talking in his normal way, and then as he's talking he just gets so fired up he just starts spitting and his face turns all red and his chin is all jiggling. It's fantastic.
Well, I wish that's what I was talking about, dude. I'm talking about him sitting there going and holding it for like 30 to 40.
Oh yeah. He does all sorts of wacky shit like that. God damn, Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Fucking guy, man.
She don't lie. I'm sorry, never mind. Okay, so yes, but please continue. What is this report entail?
Well, basically, to just briefly break it down, it talks about UFO retrievals.
So that's not too far-fetched, right? Like, there's a proposal for this. I mean, are we sure this is just a proposal?
Well, yeah. So the document that was released they released the proposal document. And like I said, this was apparently a program that existed for 6 months and then was terminated. So they weren't able to even really get off the ground. It was funded for 6 months, and then that was that. But regarding the retrievals, going back to I think it was 2001, Dr. Stephen Greer, I don't want to talk about his current stuff. I want to focus only on this 2001 thing he did. He put together this 4-hour video where he interviewed multiple military, government, and a couple astronauts as well. But all like military and government officials who had information or a sighting of UFOs.
The Sirius thing, or is this pre?
No, this was before Sirius.
Okay.
This was when he was starting up the Disclosure Project.
Okay, I've heard him talk about this a lot on Art Bell, and what he produced was, I mean, supposedly very impressive, right?
It's all on YouTube. Like you could look it up right now. But it's in 2 parts. Both parts are 2 hours long, and it is just witnesses that have seen or heard things regarding UFOs and aliens. But on there, he had this one guy who was talking about being part of a retrieval team, and he mentions coming upon a crash site where it was like a teardrop-shaped UFO that had crashed into a hillside somewhere in South America, and they had to go in and retrieve it. But he was talking about something that he had done in the 90s. So if there was teams there doing military teams doing UFO retrievals back then, like how far back does that go? And then beyond Roswell, is that what prompted them to have like a response team for this? If, provided Roswell happened, for the sake of argument, let's say Roswell's real.
Right, like how shitty that went for them. They have to have made a response team, right?
Yeah, because I mean, there was a second crash, and you never hear about that. Roswell is the one that's always focused on. The second crash site is never even mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I shouldn't say never, because obviously I just mentioned it, so it's out there, but it's not the famous one, which is weird because it's like the same type of thing, but no one talks about it. So if maybe that was the one that was. They had the response team ready to go, so when that happened, they were able to get it. And then, and like I was talking about last week with that anonymous whistleblower who said he was part of the second response team, which came in after the first team did the sweep of the craft and removed any biologicals and anything important or dangerous. And then his team would come in and sweep it for anything, basically anything else that wasn't bolted down before the other crews came in and dismantled the remaining part of the craft. But so if based on that, like they're so organized now that they've got different teams for different responsibilities at the crash site. It's like a crime scene, a police crime scene team, where you've got the different investigators that come in, do the initial sweep. Then you've got the blood splatter people that come in and do their thing. And then you've got the cleanup crew behind them.
What if that's the push that modern forensics in criminology saw was because of certain 3-lettered organizations making those alien retrieval teams?
And then it sinks down to murder investigations.
Yep.
How deep does this conspiracy go?
I mean, when you think back to it, I mean, people like Bundy, they could just do what they wanted to because there's basically no way to catch him unless you caught them red-handed.
Yeah, I mean, you make a good point though. We've come a very long way with the tools that we have to identify people. Like we DNA evidence is only like what 40, 50 years old that they were able to trace people based on DNA at a crime scene. Like, how crazy is that? Before that, it was like the Wild West, basically. Fucking kill someone and just don't leave a steaming dump behind and you'll be fine.
Okay, so UFO retrieval team. Got it. Sure. Okay. I believe it.
All right. Well, how about this one? Develop remote viewing communications and countermeasures.
Now, I saw that and I wanted to ask you this. They're still fucking around with the remote viewing stuff. I mean, they must have been rather successful. There's people that always talking about remote viewing being real. There's podcasts today done by remote viewers, but the government's still pulling on that chain, huh?
I guess certain people within this study group are. Yeah, I wouldn't go so far as to say the government themselves, but the people that are within this within these groups that were proposing Kona Blue, they wanted to look into that further. But I think it's interesting that they say not only remote viewing, but countermeasures, like a way to fight against remote viewing. So that must mean that they have a fear that enemies could potentially be remote viewing.
Right. Maybe it's time that they've got that remote viewing shit down, and now it's time to work on defense of it. Or they're probably working on that the whole time as well, right?
Probably. Because, I mean, we know remote viewing programs were a real thing. There's enough evidence out there. There's enough declassified information. It's a real thing. And we know that things like MKUltra were real. And then there were, like I said, these programs don't die. They just evolve and change names. So, I mean, from MKUltra, you have things like Monarch and the Montauk Project. If those things are actually real, there's still, a lot of questions surrounding, a lot of doubt surrounding that. But if it was a real thing, then it was definitely an offshoot of those early programs. So these UFO programs, like it, to me, it's the craziest thing is that they're tying this to UFO study and retrieval. Like to me that shows that they know that there's a connection between psychic abilities and these UFOs. And not to say that the UFOs are bestowing psychic abilities. What I mean is likely the whoever's behind the UFOs is using some form of psionic or telekinetic abilities that we could likely, if we had someone that was able to remote view, it seems likely that they would be able to also communicate in that manner if they were able to get proficient with the remote viewing.
Right. Okay. Now I read somewhere that they want to conduct experiments for remote data transfers.
Yeah. Well, not only remote data transfers, they want to be able to retrieve and send data from across time and space, and also potentially through dimensions.
Okay, so more dimension talk from the official government. Very interesting.
And then, in addition to that, they wanted to try to develop a baseline for physical transport across dimensional and the time-space barrier. So think about that. They want to determine a baseline. So that means they're going to try to send things through to determine, because we've been able to send particles, like individual particles. Where can we stop that? And they're going to go from non-living to likely plant, and then to animal, and then eventually human.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you think that's a fancy term? I don't know, man. That seems heavy. If they're talking about having people use their minds to remotely move people to a different location through time space, do you think that's them being fancy and saying teleportation?
Yeah, that's exactly what that would be. Absolutely teleportation.
Right. Okay.
But that was also one of the things they were trying to do with the Montauk Project was trying to send their consciousness through to another dimension, essentially. And then remember the story where they pulled a creature through that killed a bunch of people
Yeah,
before it was gunned down.
and I've seen a lot of people talk about that specifically, and I'm not talking about other podcasts, other people that are supposed whistleblowers on CERN. That a lot of people mention. I've heard Dr. Greer talk about that.
Yeah, there were a lot of people talking about how CERN was starting up again during the eclipse, and like they're trying to herald the end of the world.
Yeah,
But I mean, that being said, like if we were living in biblical times, like this really would seem like we were approaching the end of the world. You know, like we had, I don't know if you were affected at all by them, but over here we had the fires in Canada. It made it so that the entire, like the sky looked like an orange gray color, and everything had an orange cast to it. The sun itself looked like a dim orange fireball in the sky. Like it looked like end of days type shit.
right,
And then
right.
we had a fucking earthquake up here, and then the fucking eclipse. Like end of days, man. But that's just our little corner of the world. But for the if we weren't living in the age of technology and we were living back in the fucking in biblical times and all this shit was going down, for sure we'd all be fucking thinking it was the end of the days. For sure.
Yeah, without doubt. I mean, Taiwan just had those huge earthquakes, right?
Yeah, yeah. But we never have earthquakes up here. So having one up here that, with everything else, it's just like, oh, fuck, man. The gods are angry. We're doomed.
I don't know if it's true, but I heard like it was like 122 years since you guys had earthquake up there.
No, we had one when that big one hit DC.
Right, that's right. I remember that.
Which was, what, 2014, maybe?
End of days indeed.
Yeah, dude. And then fucking aliens.
We're supposed to have that like explosion in outer space that they don't know is going to happen, but they think it's soon.
Nice. I love outer space explosions. Maybe Yellowstone will just fucking take us all out.
Well, Iceland, right? They had all those fucking volcanoes going off.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. When are the dragons going to come out of the ocean? I want the dragons, damn it.
I think all the regular like Old Testament like boxes are checked, right? War everywhere, civil unrest everywhere, natural disasters everywhere, famine.
Yeah. We just need some chick with big tits riding a dragon, drinking from a cup of abomination, and we'll call it a day.
Yeah, and convincing all of us that she's pretty and it's all good to do what she said.
Yeah, drink from my cup of abomination. I have boobs, and yeah, you do have boobs. That's a nice looking cup. Let me take a sip.
I'm sold.
Yeah, sold. I don't know why, but I am. I'm most afraid of the man-faced locusts. They sound terrifying.
Dude, growing up, we had these books, like religious books, and they were like insanely well painted. It was like Hildebrand stuff. And I'll never forget the human face locusts because they all had like beards and long hair from men of that time.
Oh, God, no. That makes it even worse.
Yeah, dude, it was fucked up. And they had like sharp teeth, like Michael Jackson's first stage of transformation in Thriller. Like, it's just a mouthful of like regular sized sharp teeth.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God.
That's so scary.
There's so many cool paintings in those, dude. The whole apocalypse that has like it's a shot from like over the shoulder of angels. So they're like standing in like on a cloudy floor, and there's a circle in the middle of them, and it's all surrounded by angels. So the perspective of the view is amazing. but in the center of the circle of clouds is Earth, and they all have their sickles and they have their arms stretched out like to protect each other, and they're all marching towards this hole. I'm like, oh my God. Like a little kid, Mateo shit his pants.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so much religious art is so fucking terrifying.
It sure is.
Like any of the depictions of hell or the apocalypse, like most horror movies are more tame than that shit.
Agreed.
Like that shit is terrifying.
Shit.
So getting back to Kona Blue, it kind of in line with moving the information back and forth through dimensional space. They were also looking to study consciousness interactions with technology and trying to see if there was a way to control technology with your consciousness.
Ooh, Elon Musk was ahead of.
Yeah. But that's, I mean, a lot of the people that have, even going back to some of the stuff that Bob Lazar said, and other people that have apparently seen these craft or been involved in the recovery, have all commented on how it seems like these ships are being piloted or navigated through like a mental interaction with the pilot or whatever you call them and the ship itself. Like they're just using their brain as the controls for the ship.
Right. I mean, you can like take a look at what they're doing with prosthetics and what they're able to do with that stuff, and they're well on their way.
Yeah, some of that technology, and you got to wonder, did some of this technology come from that? I've heard various whistleblowers throughout various interviews talk about how we were able to develop Wi-Fi and fiber optic wires. Those were all from technology that we took from recovered craft. So maybe the prosthetics is like first stage of the rollout to the public. Because I've seen some crazy stuff where they've even been able to do it so someone is in the other room and they're able to control the arm from the other room.
Right.
Like they just connect it. You know, they connect up to the sensors and everything, and they're able to control it through the fucking wall. Just, you know, by thinking about it, they're like, I want to flip you off. So, and it does it.
Yep, they're already doing it, man. They already can control shit with their minds.
So what's next? Fucking drones? Those crazy, unknockoverable robots? What are they, Boston Dynamics?
Those things are nuts. They just revealed a new one, dude, and it's crazy.
I saw that. It's so scary.
Yeah, those things, man. Just give them an AI brain.
Yeah, you throw a fucking cannon on them, we're done.
Well, I mean, dude, you can put a couple of small caliber handguns on each side, and it's just like, you are not a friend. Pep, pep, pep.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Give them a fucking automatic 22.
Yeah, right. It's like a fucking Glock with like a super extended mag or a belt or something. That's it.
Yeah. Done. And just the way that AI is everywhere now, you know, it's fucking terrifying. So not only do we have to worry about aliens, now we have to worry about fucking robots too.
Yeah, that became a reality really quick. I kept seeing commercials where everything's like AI integrated. You know, use our new service integrated with AI. I was like, I don't want that. I don't want to.
Yeah, right. And then now it's everywhere, like open use everywhere.
Yeah, they're not even like making you pay for it yet. Like there's so much free shit with it.
Yeah, it's crazy. And just the fact that it can like actually write papers now or write whatever. You can tell it to write stories. You just type in the parameters and it'll just poop out a story for you. And then you can just go and put it in your own words and boom, there you go. You didn't even have to do the fucking work.
Did you hear about that DC artist being accused of using AI?
An artist?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that. Who was it? Was it anyone well known, or is he up and comer?
I mean, not from our day. Not nobody I know.
Oh, okay. Well, fuck that guy. I mean, remember when Greg Land got so much shit because he would just trace over porn pictures and make them into comics?
Yep.
And people are like, he's not a real artist. He's just a tracer. But he still got jobs. Like, I have you ever seen the montages of Greg Land stuff? Like how many times he's used the same picture in comic book art?
No, I'd love to see that.
Oh my God. Because what he does, he'll take actual photos, and I'm not really joking when I say he takes porn pictures and does it, because he's been called out for doing it. But he'll take like pictures from models, he'll take pictures from like of celebrities, and just fucking draw over them, and like say he needs it to be Storm from X-Men. He'll just draw it like Storm, but it's the exact same face, pose, everything. It just has white hair and dark skin with Storm's costume on.
Right.
But then he'll do another one, and it'll be like fucking Miss Marvel or something, and she'll be doing that pose, but it's drawn like Miss Marvel, but it's the exact same face and pose, just reskinned. But there's so many examples. Just look up Greg Land copies pictures or something, and you'll find it. But it's crazy. How do we always get involved in comic talk? No matter what. Like last episode, we started with like fucking 20 minutes of comic talk, and then somehow we shifted back into fucking, it's because of AI and fuck that guy from DC.
Yeah.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I stand by that. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, Blue was talking about it in the Discord and showed like his earlier art where he wasn't using that shit or pre-AI art stuff, and it's not that bad, but you can see a complete shift in his work. He put up some examples. It's just a different style completely almost. But they didn't even bother like waiting to have him admit it or investigate. They just removed his covers from going into print.
Damn.
Somebody did that with that Todd McFarlane contest too. Somebody won and they...
Oh yeah, you told me. That's such bullshit.
Mm-hmm. That was about to be put on a cover. I knew that shit was going to happen with AI too. And now even like AI music is so fucking... You can barely tell the difference now. It's crazy. So it just... You don't need anything to do stuff now. You're like, I want to make music, but I don't know how to do anything, so I'm just going to say what I want and then have a robot make it. Right, yeah. Not like I made money off like making jingles for people, but if I ever wanted to do that, that's gone. That's not a possibility anymore. And I'm not even that mad at it, because you can pay somebody a lot of money who thinks they're awesome at making jingles, or like me and you have been messing with that music program. You can write 4 words and press a button, and within less than 10 seconds, you'll have your jingle. Like professional quality, no AI weirdness. Like it doesn't sit there and say nonsensical words. It's done. It's like $8 a month. It's not even about the money. To me, it's about the time. I was like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. But the amount of unoriginal people out there that try to capitalize off this and say that they themselves did it, it pisses me off, because there's people out there who bust their ass that are genuinely talented that don't get any recognition, and then you have pieces of shit out there just using AI to do whatever.
There's that new horror movie where it takes place like a TV show's being filmed, and apparently like the devil's there. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Late Night with the Devil?
Yeah. People are saying boycott that movie because the cameras have gone down image that they flashed like back in those days. Like, we'll be right back. It's filmed during Halloween. And that one image is AI generated, and people are like, nope, not watching it. I'm like, God damn.
Yeah. I heard that as well. That I don't mind as much, because it's just like, it's an inconsequential thing, and maybe they just didn't want to pay the rights to an old timey thing, so they just fucking, it's a Shudder original, so they've got a relatively small budget anyway. But what pissed me off was when Marvel used it for the opening of of the Secret Invasion show.
Really?
Like you're a multi-billion-dollar company, and you're not going to hire a fucking artist to do your work. You're going to get a AI generated image. Like, fuck off.
Well, two things to say about that is one is they're definitely going to do that, even Disney, because they want our eyes to get used to that shit. That's like when they did the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
like it
conditioning.
When they did the first Lord of the Rings, it looks bad now. But if you watch the making of it, it was like one of the first times they actually mixed using actual film with CGI very well. So, I mean, it's just to condition our eyes, I think. And, oh, man. Yeah, that's all. And what part of the show where it was CGI, what did they do? I haven't heard of this.
It was the like the opening credits for every episode. It was all AI generated scrolls and like and it looks all weird and I think that's what they were going for, but get a fucking artist to do it, man. Like, don't have AI make weird transformation things. I don't know.
Right. Marvel has no problem hiring really shitty artists, so.
Yeah, like get Rob Liefeld or Larry Stroman to come in and fucking do it.
Oh, no, you can fucking find anybody who would call themselves abstract and be like, do a scroll. Okay, no more comic books. Aliens.
Oh yeah. We're talking about aliens. So we talked about the weird aspects with the like trans-dimensional communication and transport, but getting a little more grounded. In addition to this stuff, really it sounds like they want to cover all aspects of the phenomenon here. Because one of the other things that they were doing was they wanted to create a rapid response medical team for UFO interaction events. And I've got an excerpt here of just kind of a clip from the report, but they wanted to create a comprehensive database on all physiological and medical effects of advanced aerospace vehicles within the United States. And then they wanted to use that information to create a pattern analysis and kind of figure out where these effects were the strongest, I guess. They also wanted to create a rapid response team of physician/scientist personnel that, under the supervision of contact physician and deputy administrator of the program, will rapidly conduct MRI scans, rapidly conduct appropriate blood tests, including chemistry, hematology, toxicology, and immune system testing, genetic tests, including tissue biopsies and blood sampling, cytogenic analysis, and full forensic internal medicine diagnostic procedures, and then integrate that data into the program so that they could kind of correlate that. They said, based on previous programs and evidence that they've observed, there is non-ionizing radiation that's associated with injuries related to UFO contact.
Ooh.
So they want to have a team ready to go for this sort of thing. And so think back to the Cash Landrum incident and remember how both women had to undergo years of doctor visits and treatments for radiation poisoning. And I think one of them ended up getting cancer and dying.
Yeah, didn't they have a dog that was with them that just? Or no. Well, that's in a few cases, right?
They didn't have a dog. They had a kid with them. There was a little kid and then two women, and it was the one with the helicopters that were kind of hovering around this craft that looked like it was having trouble staying in the air. Yeah,
I definitely remember that one. That's one of those old episodes of Unsolved Mysteries that I watch where you get those two ladies are interviewed, man. You get to see that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure one of them is passed. They might both be passed away now, but I'm pretty sure when we covered that incident on the show, I believe that one of them had passed away.
I believe it.
But it's interesting that this program is proposing to cover all aspects, though. Like, I'm surprised there's nothing in there indicating like poltergeist studies.
Right. I mean, that's kind of like what Arrow was saying they were going to do. Right. They even changed their moniker was for all air, and didn't it say something about ground, land, ground, and air, ground, and sea?
Yes, I don't remember exactly, but yeah.
They seem to be covering their bases.
Yeah, I can't wait for them to start talking about Bigfoot. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm waiting for one of these reports to be like, there are serious cryptid hunting teams all in a...
Spooky Team 6, motherfucker.
Yep.
We really need to do a Spooky Team 6 theme song at some point here.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Spooky Team, kicking ass.
Oh my God.
Hunting ghosts.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it'll be awesome.
Thank you for listening to the Whatcast. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, iTunes, and YouTube. Enjoy the podcast. Get yourself a Whatcast t-shirt or a sticker pack. Who was that dude on that one episode? Try the links in Homie's page. All this and more can be found at www.thewhatcasters.com. Thanks again for listening and have a great week.